So it feels like spring has finally sprung in Edinburgh. It's the end of February, so I thought I would do a little review of the last month. So obviously Edinburgh's still in lockdown, so there's not a lot to do particularly, so most of the month has been a combination of running and reading. Fortunately, those are two of my favourite things. So the first weeks of February I attended the Inter-Intellect Salon on Antigone. So it's part of a series, Reading the Greats, which cover the great literature of the Western canon. So we've been reading the literature of antiquity recently, and Antigone was the second salon in the series. So I did a bit of reading around it. I read a couple of different versions of the play, some old translations, and then some kind of more modern takes on the story. And it was great to get together with other Intellect salon attendees and discuss the work. So next week, in fact this weekend coming, is the Inter-Intellect Salon on the last days of Socrates by Plato. So looking at living a good life, the philosophical life, and the kind of the issues of dying. I've been doing a little bit of reading around the subjects. I've read a little bit of the Greek myths and of some of the Greek stories and histories. One book that I'd recommend from this month is Natalie Haynes' Pandora's Jar. So it looks at women in the Greek myths. So it's obviously it's often a neglected side of the myths. You know, you've got these big kind of masculine Greek heroes, whereas this looks at the women in the tales. So, you know, some good, some bad, some misunderstood, some reinterpreted. It's both it's both funny and enlightening as a book. So I really recommend it if you're interested in that sort of thing. Running, I ran every day in January and then decided to take 1 or 2 rest days at the start of February. Didn't go to plan. I kind of got to the middle of the month and then realised I'd not been running in a couple of weeks. But at the end of the month, I managed to catch up on running, and I'm still ahead of my target for my annual running goal of 1,250k. We've been for a couple of runs down at Portobello, which has been lovely, down at Edinburgh's beachfront, and I also made it back up into the Pentlands now that the snow has melted. So some great views over the city last weekend. So in March, I'm going to be doing more running and reading. We're going to still be in lockdown, I think, for a couple of months here. My parents have got the vaccine now. Harriet's had her second dose. So, very positive feeling at the moment. There's a kind of fragile light at the end of the tunnel. I'm keen to get my vaccine, so looking forward to the UK and Scottish governments going, further and faster with the vaccination programme. But I think the next couple of months will be kind of staying at home and the same as the previous 6 months. So looking forward to the summer and looking forward to the next month of more running and reading, and hopefully catching up with more of you in the meantime. I'll leave you with 1 second every day from my February 2021.